Hey y'all, welcome to a new episode of Notes from My Journal with Faye. So it's actually been a while that we did this thing from the journal. If you get what I mean, we did a lot of that in season one. And I'm like, wait a minute, we haven't read anything from the journal this season two. So I was going through my journal and I realized we had not talked about one of these not so important but important talk, and that is small talks. Oh my days. I have to tell you, I wrote like a journal about small talks, and if I'm correct, I used to have like a timestamps on all my journals, and this one should be around. Oh, wait for it. Um, hmm, around let's say March April 2021, because the latest timestamp I'm seeing on another journal that I wrote was in May, and this was the uh, small talk journal that I wrote was like two two writings before the May. So let's just say roughly March April 2021. That's like a whole year and a half plus ago that I wrote about small talks, and I think why not have this conversation today, if you get what I mean. So uh let's have it. Small talks. We all know this small talks. It's not really, there's no thin line to define it, but it's there, it is there, and we all engage in it, either on one-on-one or in group settings. For me, one-on-one small talks is not a problem. Like, I love it. Like, I live for it. You know what I mean? Like, me and my friends, we thrive over that. We have like conversations, we connect, we can talk about anything, like literally anything in small talks with one-on-one. But don't let me go into group settings or small talks. Let me just put this out there. There's this t-shirt I'm about to get, right? It says my social battery settings, my social battery life. So it's like there's 5 batteries. The one on the green is full, right? And it shows one person. So social battery life is full, green, one person, and it starts decreasing the more number of people, and then you see by the time it got to 5 people, the social battery was like zero, dead, nothing, nada. So yeah, group setting, small talks, I'm sorry to say, could be very draining if it depends on the people involved in that conversation. Imagine having a small talk in a group of setting that you cannot relate to, that the conversation, you can bounce your ideas back. Can be daunting, to say the least, and you have not like you don't have a choice, but you are being respectful of the audience, that you don't want to just peace out and disappear, if you get what I mean. But you're just there, you're nodding, you're smiling, you're like, yeah, you can relate to that, but you can feel and sense that your ideas are not really welcome there. So in that kind of setting, what to do? You just have to like tick tock, count the time till when this is over, so that this awkwardness can finally disappear. What's your take on small talks? It is something that's not going to go away. I just think that we now have a name for it, but it has been for years. Like, our family members have it, parents have had it. You visit family friends, and you have chit chat. We just didn't call it small talks then, but it is what it is. We have a term for it now. Maybe the term was in the past, but it's not really used the way it's being used now. So let's dive right into the journal writing, and then maybe we can have one or few conversations after that. Small talks. I'm not a fan of small talks, to be honest. It does not mean I have not been involved in them in the past or currently. The truth is, during the lockdown, my ability to hold small talks shortened. It became like a daunting task, waiting for it to finish even before it began. What I did not know is the importance of it. It is like the invisible glue for big talks to run smoothly. I didn't have a problem with it if it was one to one with someone I knew, but when it came to larger gatherings, I felt it was a waste of time listening to small talks that didn't include me to get involved in. So gradually, I started observing to really see what big of a deal are small talks anyway. 1. It eases the tension of the atmosphere of the gathering before a meeting is held. People laugh at not so serious conversations about their cat, food, its sleeping position, or the sport activity another person engaged the previous day. I don't know what's wrong with my English. Engaged in the previous day. 2. It creates a bond. It strengthens an existing bond that had previously been before the lockdown and creates a new me for people who now. I don't know what I'm reading here. Excuse me. I'm going to try again. 2. It creates a bond. It strengthens an existing bond that has previously been before the lockdown and creates new ones for people who are new to the team or meetings or a place of worship. That was not so bad after all. 3. Something funny you can relate to might be said by someone in the meeting, which can make you giggle behind the camera or phone, even though you did not put your camera or phone on. No, you put your phone on. Yeah. What I meant is, even if when you don't put on your video camera on, this makes you feel carried along with during the conversation. Or even though it's not every day, some of you relate to what is being spoken about. Today may be your day, tomorrow will be someone else's day to speak about something relatable. To be honest, looking back at small talks that were relatable and not relatable, I can say if this was removed in different types of meetings I have attended, it will look like and feel like and sound rigid in nature, boring and robotic with less feelings of human interaction. Although I'm naturally inclined to be more to the more serious stuff, small talks has taught me not to ignore the little things of life that glues the big things together. Without the small stuff, the big stuff won't run smoothly. This also applies to daily life activities, challenges, and successes. There's a lot to unpack here. Not so much, but you get what I mean. I think I can relate to the part of where I mentioned that if small talks was to be removed, conversations, meetings, are going to be robotic or very rigid in nature. Coming from a work environment that in the past from my home country, I think official meetings were more serious and more rigid in the beginning. That's the dynamic. So everybody's serious, in the beginning of the meetings. I don't know if it's like that in all African countries, but in Nigeria, my own specific experience, meetings are always serious. Everybody's wearing shirts, you're tied up, basically looking official. And the meeting goes on, everybody's bouncing ideas back and forth. This was so many years ago. The office dynamic culture has changed drastically. So this what I'm saying is, yeah, like almost a decade ago experience. So yeah, now it's I can see that the culture has really the dynamic has really changed. So meetings then will be so serious. There's maybe the financial officer, the financial manager, having a meeting with the team, blah blah blah. Everybody's bouncing off different ideas, and towards the end of the meeting, then it becomes really light. It's now like people, yeah, there are now jokes being said. That's after the meeting. After most of the meeting itinerary has been observed and also achieved the goal and aim of the meeting. And then towards the end, there's now bouncing off of jokes and some softness in towards the meeting. But here, I think it's the opposite. Here, meeting starts soft, like interactions are soft, everybody's, relaxed and chill. Everybody shares and have conversations on small talks. You talk about your cat, your dog, the tea you drank in the morning, what you're having for lunch, where did you go yesterday night, before the meeting then starts. So there's this sense of, belonging, somewhat of, oh, okay, my presence is being, not, I don't want to use the notes. My presence is present, if that makes any sense. Before the meeting, during the meeting, and and after. So I think here meetings starts like bouncing off of small talks, then the meeting gets serious, and then it also ends with small talks. Yeah, that's the dynamic I've observed. Yeah, but is small talks draining for me? I would say yes. And I know a lot of people around the world also share the same sentiment. Some people are very some people thrive on small talks in group settings, because that's the opportunity for them to be seen, to be known, and to show. Some people are very extroverted, and they thrive over attention. They thrive on attention. So that's their forte. They are good with it. It's what they love. They feed on. And some other people are a bit more conservative. Not that they don't talk. If you meet them on one-on-one, they can talk for hours. You can share different points of views about different things, and you'll be like, whoa, I loved having the conversation with you. But when you drop them in group settings, it's like you drop them in the deep water, deep ocean, and they're like, oh my God, what am I doing here? I don't want to drown. Take me out. I gotta swim out of this as fast as I can. But there's a clause to that. Sometimes you're around your own people. When you're around your own people, it's small talks is not small talks. It's that you're vibing. You get what I mean? Then it turns to like you're vibing. This is a vibe, not a small talk. Because if you're around your people, you would not think you're having small talk, because time just flies by. You talk about everything back and forth. You know what I mean? But if you're not around your people, or it's something semi-official or very official, then I noticed that you have to mentally put up a front. So you're like laughing, but you're fake laughing. You're not genuinely laughing at someone's, I don't know, maybe someone else's experience might be different, but you don't laugh from your belly, if you get what I mean. You just laugh, ha ha ha, oh my God, that's interesting. Yeah, that's the kind of laugh you gave. But when you're vibing with your own people, on your own circle, you laugh from the belly. Then that's not small talk. That's the gist. So I think conversations can have different names, can be put to it, and different meaning depending on the setting that you're in. Let me know what's your take about small talks. Do you thrive over it on it, or are you more of a one-to-one small talk person, group setting small talk person, or you're not a small talk person at all? Whatever that is, I hope you let me know. Let us hear your point of view on our Instagram, Notes from My Journal podcast on IG. Drop a comment, share your thoughts. And yeah, this was such an interesting don't let me say conversation, because it's like I'm talking to you, but you're not here, but you're here. And it's good to be able to touch some write-ups that has gone down the journal in a long time, and it's so refreshing, if I would say, to be able to touch this. We should do this more often. And then guess what I just remembered when I said we should do this more often? So there's this video that went viral some months ago, right, about introverts, right, where she just left seeing a friend, and she was like, we should do this again. Then the other person, the imaginary person that we assume is someone that is there, said twice a day, and she's like, yes, we should do this twice a day, twice a week. And she said we should do this, and then they left, and then she slammed the door of her car, and she gave a deep sigh, like, oh my god, this is draining. I can relate to that, definitely. Anyway, that's all about small talks in this episode. I hope you do enjoy it. Catch you on the next one. Ciao.